Every day we make choices that shape our lives: what to eat, what to wear, and how we spend our time. But there's one choice that can truly make a difference in our community and our country. It's the choice to vote. Your voice matters. Your vote matters. And it's never been easier to make sure your voice is heard.
At Vote.Gov, you can register to vote in just a few easy steps. Whether you're a first-time voter or updating your registration, it's quick, secure, and straightforward. When you register to vote, you're taking an active role in our democracy. You're standing up for your beliefs and ensuring your opinions are counted.
And it's not just about national elections. It's about having a say in the decisions that affect our local communities, our future, and our country.
That's right. If you're not registered, take a moment today to visit Vote.Gov. It's simple, it's important, and it's your chance to make a difference.
Register to vote today at Vote.Gov and let's show up and participate in this year's election. Your voice, your power, your future. Let's make it count.
Visit Vote.Gov now. It's time to take action.
You know, I could go for a CC and FF right about now.
While wearing cross-colored jeans and a Carl Canai vest.
God, I hope we don't have a tornado drill.
Swish, swish, y'all.
Let's talk about it.
On today's episode of Just Draws. What's up, everybody? You've tuned in to Just Draws, the podcast that explores hot topics and various experiences among same-gender loving Black men. In each episode, we offer raw, vulnerable, and stripped-down perspectives to give voice to our frequently overlooked population. Here, we don't just scratch the surface, we dive deep, peeling back the layers of our experiences as well as heteronormative stereotypes. Let's get into this week's episode. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Just Draws, and we're here again with just the two of us, and you know how this goes. Normally, when it's me on just the two of us, I gotta bring my girl in, my girl Anjeleigh. She is back for a three-peat.
This is a three-peat.
This is a three-peat, three names. So
three names, three times.
Three times. We are back. So everybody, welcome Anjeleigh back to the podcast.
Woo-hoo. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
So today we are gonna talk a little bit about memories. And we were having a conversation the other day, and I was talking about something, and real talk, I can't remember what it was I was talking about. But
listen, it was about I started the conversation about my dental adventure for the day when I got my tooth fixed. And then you were saying that you were gonna get some coconut pool, some kind of coconut something, and do a pool. And then you started talking about swishing it. And then you said the word swish again.
Like 17 times.
And you said it at least three times, three names.
Right, three names.
And so about the third or fourth time, I started to have a flashback of swishing as a kid. And that conversation
prompted this conversation today. Exactly. I remember. So just in case Guru Nanda wants to sponsor us, I was talking about the pulling oil that it's like all the rage on TikTok. So just putting that out there, putting that out there in the universe. But so I was talking about how I use that, and I kept saying you swish it and you swish it, and I was going through the process and telling her about the process, and so that's what triggered it. So I said, we should really do an episode about memories and like what things we remember from our past. And when we started talking about swish, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit, so just hold on, hang out. Hang out, everybody, because we're going to talk about it. But I was thinking about maybe a couple of years ago, three years ago or so, I did a series of posts on Facebook where I called them May memories. So in May, I did this thing where I basically each week I did like a different set of memories. I was thinking about all these things that, were nostalgic for me and all of that. And so I put images up and a little post about it all that week. And I said, this will be probably a good, fun episode to do, just to, two old people sitting around reminiscing about
rocking in the
rocking in a wheelchair
on the veranda.
And waiting to go to Cracker Barrel.
Right. Get your dentures out the cup.
Get your dentures out the cup. That's right. Take them out and wipe them out.
Because with a paper towel.
Because you ate corn. Yeah.
Because you ate corn.
All of that. So we're going to talk about memories today. And hopefully, our audience and listeners will be able to kind of go with us on some of these things. And if you can't, no big deal. Hopefully you'll have a good time laughing at some of the stuff that we went through. So I think the first thing I want to think about is, or get into, is this idea of like, how do memories kind of manifest for each of us as we go through life and as we get older?
Yeah. So for me, it can be anything, and it's more sensory than anything. Just like hearing the word swish. It seemed to hit something. I was like, oh my God. And just immediately I went back in time. So sometimes a sight of something or a sound of something or the smell, the certain, backwards, but colognes, or if I see a Cabbage Patch Kid, I can smell the Cabbage Patch. Does that make sense? I can smell the Cabbage Patch Kid.
Well, I didn't
like
have
baby
one.
powder. Oh my God!
I never
all
owned
smelled
one.
like baby powder.
Okay.
Ooh, and you were nobody if you didn't have the car seat and everything. But anyway, the smells, the sight, sometimes a taste. It's very sensory oriented. It is where the memories can really evoke the emotion sometimes too. So what about you?
Yeah, I agree with that it's a lot more sensory. But for me, it's weird. My brain works really weirdly. Like there's certain things I can't remember what I ate 2 days ago, but something random. Yeah, we're gonna get that checked out. Some ginkgo biloba or something.
Beginning of dementia.
Exactly. Right. And it's like, now who are you? And so,
tell me your name again, baby.
Yeah, baby. But the thing for me though is I will just remember something. Like something will pop into my head, like out of the blue. Like there's nothing that I'm thinking about, but just all of a sudden something will pop up and I'll start laughing and I'm like, wow, okay, now I remember that. Or I remember somebody said something just kind of out of the blue. I could be laying on the couch watching TV and then, wow, why did I think about that? So, but I do get a lot of sensory stuff too. I'll smell certain things, even if I go to like an elementary school, and I go to the cafeteria, I smell the same thing, and it takes me back.
And even if I don't see it, I still smell it as if it's supposed to be in there.
Yeah,
especially if it's the day of the week that you're supposed to have had that thing.
Exactly. So we have a lot of similarities in terms of how our memories manifest. But let's get into some of these memories here. So we're going to kind of divide this up into like 4 categories. All right. So what we're going to do is first we're going to talk about like childhood memories. We're going to talk about things that happen, things that we possibly remember, before we started school. So this is all the stuff that would have happened before school started. So you want to go first?
Sure. I do remember, and I said this, you guys are going to have to go back to the podcast about relationships and love and crushes. When I was little, this was before you even go to school. This is like daycare, not even a pre-K. I don't even know what this was, but there was a certain daycare I went to. I remember it smelled like applesauce, and I hate applesauce to this day. I don't know if I had it there and it was just a bad event, but there was a little boy. His name was Richie, and allegedly I had a crush on Richie. So every time I hear someone's name is Richard or Richie, I go back to that alleged scenery of bye Richie, and he would say bye Angel. But I remember the smell of that place being of applesauce. Before that, though, I remember being little and being at home with my mother, and she watched the stories.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what that is, that's also known as soap operas or day dramas or whatever they call them now. But I remember that the stories. I remember that. I remember, oh God, I don't know why, like hard candy. I don't know why I think of that every time I think of being small.
Like the candy that would be in somebody's purse at church.
In somebody's purse. But it tastes like nothing. But it was in a jar.
Okay.
But we wanted it. It was in somebody's canister on their table.
Yeah.
And I remember just being little and getting that candy and you broke it off. That should have been sign number 1. I wasn't supposed to eat that. But I would get that and it would taste like nothing. And
so it was
that,
like in big pieces, or it was like in like sticks,
sometimes it would be in a clump, because mother would have probably left it on the table.
Wait. So it was it had melted together.
You know how sometimes your grandma or your auntie
I don't know
might have forgot what? Okay, so those of us who had aunties or old people that you visited back in the day who had plastic on their furniture and you couldn't go in the living room, like that kind of house.
Now, I remember
there was always that jar
Yeah.
on the table. They had that candy. They had that jar of candy, and they had that jar of it was a bowl of like, when you're eating ice cream, it's pecan, but when you're just talking about the regular nut, it's a pecan. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It was on the table with that, yes. And you always got you a piece of that candy, and then you were trying to like crack one of the pecans, like that was those are my little kids.
So were they?
And I have one more, but
were they pecans, or were they Brazil nuts? But the street name or the black name for Brazil nuts are nigga toes. So was it those?
They were probably all of the above in the same bowl.
Because
you had that silver crack, the silver.
Yeah, the crack. Yeah, you had the thing that was right next to it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I remember this is a childhood memory that, you all might tear up just a little bit because this is a little touching. So when I was little, we had it was our godfather, my brother's godfather, and he is now my stepdad. When I was a little girl, there was this red stool that sat in his mother's kitchen. I know I wasn't even in school, but I remember she made pound cake. And I would sit on the foot of her. This is how small I was. I would sit on the foot of that stool and I would eat pound cake. And I just remember, told you it smells and tastes. I remember it being moist and warm, and she would put it on wax paper and she would say, "Okay, baby, this is warm. You don't burn your mouth now."
Yeah.
And I remember going to the bottom step of that stool and sitting there and eating pound cake. Today, I have that same stool right here in my house.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so that whole little thing takes me back. And I remember, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay, good. I like the, I'm kind of go in the same direction or same vein as you with some of my childhood memories, watching the stories. My grandparents used to do that, but I was a big cartoon fanatic. So I still am to this day.
It's Animaniac.
That's me. That was my line name in fraternity was Animaniac, because I am a cartoon fanatic. And I mean, even last night, as recent, I should say, as last night, I found on YouTube a 3-hour video of like cartoons from like 1985, I think it was.
And Jim. Oh my God, you had puzzles.
Okay, so confession to all our listeners, since we are about being stripped down and vulnerable. My name is Darius, and I watched Jim and the Holograms.
Because you are truly outrageous.
Because I was truly outrageous. Now, I wasn't up, being Jim. Now, I wasn't that. I wasn't that gay, that I was like, okay, I got to go put a pink towel on my head and dance around.
What's crazy is that there is when you said that, it doesn't even mean that, because there's a cartoon that is very similar to Jim. The animations are very similar. And it is I guess it's a new age cartoon. It's all guys. It's like they dress from like Miami Vice era, but it's a current cartoon. And at the end of this cartoon, they play Jodeci every single time. And what the name of it is,
I'm gonna need you to find that out.
Yes. And it is very much like Jim. So doesn't matter. Jim is for everybody.
Yeah, I did watch Jim, but at the time, you weren't somewhere telling folk that you watched Jim. Like you couldn't let it be known that you were sitting at home watching Jim. Now I tell you this, I do remember the songs, or a lot of the songs from Jim. Like there have been times that I have looked back on YouTube and been like, what was the name of that song? There were 3 songs that I thought were like the bomb, and I'll go back and listen to those again, and I'm like, yeah, they could sing a little bit. So cartoons were
sing a little bit.
They could sing a little bit. They sing a little piece, So all of that was definitely what I remember. I did, I used to come home from school and I had to hurry up and get my homework done. That was a thing that was instilled in me, that I had to do my work before I could watch my cartoons. Yeah. So I had to get all my work done before I could watch cartoons, and really all the good stuff started at 3:30. So I would get home at 2:15. Yes. So I could jump, I could knock my homework out and then be ready by 3:15, 3:30 to go ahead and watch everything up until 5:00. Another one of my memories is we were talking about pound cake, and my kind of 2 of my other memories do involve food from early childhood. Godfather's Pizza.
Yes, sir.
Godfather's Pizza was the best pizza. Like
the best pizza.
F Pizza Hut, F anybody else. It was Godfather's was holding it down. All right. It was holding it down. All right. And I remember every year I would.
You guys have Mr. Gaddy's Pizza?
No, we didn't have that.
My husband had something with the Mr. Gaddy's Pizza. I've never heard of that until like we started dating, and he brought me into to know about that. But Godfather's Pizza was, and the Pizza Hut Pizza Inn that was another one. But
that was it. Yeah, Pizza Inn. We had Pizza Inn, but Pizza Inn was just not as popular where I was. I didn't really start eating at Pizza Inn until I got in grad school the first time. But Godfather's was it. And I used to be on the it was expensive though. It was super expensive.
Yes, that's why my mama didn't get it.
Yeah, it's like $16. But it was a Friday thing, and I was on the list. I was on the list to get the free pan pizza for, like, on my birthday. So I would love to do that. And then the other thing that I remember from childhood was we used to, on Saturdays, after all the Saturday morning cartoons would go off, one of the things that we used to do all the time is we used to go to the mall. And if anybody is from, any listeners or anybody's familiar with Eastland Mall in Charlotte, that was kind of our little spot. We had like 2 major malls. We had the South Park, which was kind of the ritzy mall, and then we had Eastland Mall. And so Eastland Mall had stuff. It was a place that most people went. Everybody could go. So if you're from Atlanta, just to give you a frame of reference, Eastland Mall was like Lenox, and then South Park was like Phipps. So the kind of upscale mall was South Park. But we would always go to Eastland Mall, and Eastland Mall had an ice skating rink on the ground floor. And so especially when it was like cold outside, and anytime really, because they could control it down there, but you could go and they had like railings around the other 2 levels of the mall, and you could just stand up there and watch people ice skate and watch people fall and stuff. And my mom,
big city, I'm from the country, so a childhood memory was not going to the mall because there was no mall. But we did make homemade ice cream. I remember specifically a brown. I remember it looked like a bucket,
and you put ice around the edge.
And some salt and something.
Yeah, and all the kids had to come around and turn for a little while.
Not at all, because we lived in the country. When I say in the country, like to this day, if you go out there and your headlights are not working, may the force be with you, because you're not going to be able to see anything. That's how far in the woods I lived as a kid. Yeah, but we would make ice cream on Saturdays and sit in the carport, not the garage, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a garage. It's called a carport in the country. Carport. And you would eat that ice cream off of that little cone that tastes like, now it tastes like pieces of paper. It didn't then, because we thought it was a good cone. But
that cake cone.
It was the cake, cake cone. Don't mess around here. Your mama got a little extra in her check, and you could actually get some Hershey chocolate syrup. What? Don't do it. Because we were going to make homemade ice cream.
Sugar cones were my favorite, but those cake cones, came in that little box, and when you push that ice cream down on it, and you hear that little crackle,
and you eat them edges.
Eat those edges. That's right.
And you come running down your arm.
So yeah, we would go to Eastern Mall, and my mom would always ask me if I wanted a hot dog and an orange Julius, and I hated orange Julius. I liked the hot dogs, but I hated orange Julius. And every Saturday she would ask me about a hot dog and an orange Julius, and I was like, no, I don't want that. No, I want the hot dog, but can we get like something from Dairy Queen? Can I get a milkshake from someone?
Listen, don't start the Dairy Queen memories, because Dairy Queen and the Blizzards. Oh my God. Yeah. So they used to make the Whopper. They don't even make this anymore. They used to make the Whoppers Blizzard. And if you don't know what Whoppers are,
yeah, movie candy.
You have all your back teeth if you don't know what Whoppers are.
Right.
Listen, it's the reason why I have so many dental challenges. But they would make the Whoppers Blizzard, and there would be Whoppers at the bottom. Oh my God. That and butterscotch dipped ice cream cones at Dairy Queen.
And see, so a lot of that stuff, my Dairy Queen memories really came when I kind of got to elementary school. So I think that's kind of a good segue to kind of switch over, to our elementary school days. So now category 2, elementary school. So this is when, kindergarten through 5th grade or 6th grade, whichever one you went to. We went to 6th grade, but one of my elementary memories was the Betamax VCR.
Betamax VCR.
Betamax. So before
Betamax
VHS, there was Beta.
Betamax.
There was Beta. So that was it. And those were the two things. We didn't have DVDs. We didn't have, streaming. Of course, we didn't have streaming, nothing. But of course, we have DVDs. We didn't have anything. But that's what it was. VHS was the upscaled version of Beta. Everybody had a Beta for a while, and then I remember that we still had a Beta VCR, a Betamax VCR, and a lot of like the movies and stuff that used to come out on video. The Beta started to phase out when I was born, or maybe when I got of age, it started to phase out. So like it was rare you could go to a video store
and get a Beta. Yep.
And find a Beta tape.
First of all, let's pause right there. You said the words video store.
Yes, that's another memory. Yeah.
A video store. And when you thought your movie was on that shelf because you saw that box, or you went there looking for that movie and it was out, because on Fridays you better get to that video store early or either get it on Thursday night. But you had to take it back as soon as Saturday got here, because your mama was not paying that late fee.
It's not paying the late fee, and you
had to rewind better be rewound when you get there.
It better rewind.
Please be kind and rewind.
Yes, please be kind. Yep, that was it. But so, and it was crazy. I can remember my mom telling people all the time, we would go, okay, well, hey, do you have so-and-so movie? Or no, we got so-and-so movie. But you got it on Beta. Yeah, you got it.
Yep, you got it on Beta.
You got it on Beta. No, I don't have it on Beta. I got it on VHS. And I remember my mom, and used to record, you could record your own videos on stuff. So this was before my mama got saved. And so but before she got saved and filled with the Holy Ghost, and all of that, videos used to come on, music videos used to come on Fridays. What used to come on every day? But my mom recorded a whole bunch of videos on a tape, and on a Beta tape. And I remember watching that whole Beta tape of videos multiple times. And it would be stuff like Janet Jackson's Pleasure Principle video at Control. Jermaine Jackson was on there. Vesta and Phil, all, and I'm like learning all these songs, watching this stuff on here. So that was definitely one of mine.
Oh my God.
Switching it over to the school, the actual elementary school portion. Do you remember RIF?
No, what is RIF?
Okay, so RIF is Reading is Fundamental. And we used to have these like RIF fairs in school. And so it was some program that was started in the 80s where it was a push to try to get kids to read more in school. And so what they would do is at the RIF fair, you would go into the library, or the library would have like all these books that they would get. And each of the classes, they would get so many books. I don't know how many books they got, but each class got had their choice of some books. And so what you would do is you would go to the library and they would have all the tables in the library, or they used to call it the media center at that point. It wasn't the library, the media center. So
the library.
The library was a little later, but the media center was what it was.
Library.
So you would go to the media center, and they would have all these round tables, and they would have all these books on the tables. All right, and so when you got to the library, they would kind of line you up at the door. And they would tell you, all right, go. And then you would run into the media center, and you would run around to the tables, and you got to choose a book. And you could get whatever book you wanted. You could only get one, though. And so you got to choose whatever book that you wanted. And then you got to keep that book. And that was a book that you would read, when you had like reading time in class and stuff like that. You could take it home, and it would be yours and all of that stuff. And so I remember those RIF fairs that we would have. And sometimes what they would do is they would have, they would send the sheet out that had all the different books that they potentially would have at the fair. And you could kind of map out, oh, I'd like to get this one. I want this one. I want that one.
Because as you're talking about that, I've had so many things that come up, like the book fair itself, when you had the Scholastic book fair.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think Scholastic had something to do with RIF. I could be completely wrong in that, but
we don't know.
I do remember that. But I do remember, and I remember those Scholastic flyers that you used to get too.
Yes, and you sit up and say, I'm going to get this, and I'm going to get that. And your mama give you $1.
Yeah.
You don't get any of that, but you said you want it.
That's right. That's right. You get extra milk at lunch.
Get extra milk. Library, how about, I don't know, because I'm older than you, but getting checked for scoliosis in the library.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. I do.
That was, first of all, why am I in the library getting checked for scoliosis? Why? Why am I being
why were we so scared about about getting scoliosis? That and lice. Like I used to be so scared to get lice until later. Until I learned later that people was like, oh, well, Black people don't get lice.
Right. Pardon my hair. Right. Like, why are you looking at my scalp talking about something? I'm just checking. No, you're messing my hair up.
I remember this guy in my class, Jamie. He had lice, and when we got tested, and they was like, "Oh yeah, Jamie got lice," and that was the thing. That was the thing. The rest of the day, Jamie got lice. Don't sit next to Jamie because he got lice.
He got lice. Oh Jesus. Oh, I'm weak. Oh God. Yep. Lice and scoliosis. We were scared of those two things. Oh my God. And then I remember in elementary school, and I guess this would be elementary school, when I'm about to tell just how old I am, a Nintendo for Christmas.
Okay.
And let me take you there. So this is
This had to have been late elementary school then. For you.
Well, maybe fifth grade. Fifth grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Nintendo came out. Yeah, I was in late elementary. Yeah.
Yeah. See, kindergarten. Oh, I remember. Okay, so let's go back early elementary then, if you want to do that. Kindergarten with a nap on that mat that's blue on one side and red on the other side. Oh my God. There was a particular child. His name was can't say no names. And every time we take a nap, he want to get under the table. And he would want his feet to touch my feet. And then my friend Katie, he wanted Katie's feet to it was like he wanted to make a star or something every time. And then Miss Alford, she separated him from us. God almighty, that was 19. Jesus was a baby too. So, and then my best friend Katie moved away in kindergarten. I remember those were the traumatizing times of school, period, when your friends moved away and you couldn't really figure out why. But yeah, she moved to Japan when we were in kindergarten. Wow. Her dad was in the military.
Nice.
Yep. I remember getting my tonsils out in kindergarten. Yep. And my adenoids.
I didn't get my tonsils taken out until 2018.
Oh, yours were about dry rotted.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to get my tonsils taken out in kindergarten. And my mother made me this green velour 2-piece outfit with a skirt and jacket. Oh, I was sharp. Listen, sharper than tack. Sharp. And had to get him out. And it was Christmas time, around Christmas time when I got him taken out. And I remember going to the hospital, going to the OR in a wagon and getting him out and then getting back home. and I had ice cream and ice chips. And then my kindergarten teachers bought me these Barbie Etch-a-Sketch things that you put paper, I don't know, you put the paper on the top and you sketch over the Barbie or something. I remember that. And a teddy bear that I had named Gargamel.
Like the Smurfs.
Yes, but he was a big old teddy bear. And my godfather, he bought me the teddy bear and it smelled like his cologne for a very long time.
Okay.
Yep, and the teddy bear's name was Gargamel, but that's my kindergarten memories for sure. Yeah.
So let's take it to the topic of the hour here. In elementary school, there was a program that was started that was to help all of our students or help the students with their oral hygiene, and that program was called Swish.
The Swish.
Swish. And so Swish used to occur once a week when I was in the specifically for me, when I was in the earlier years of elementary school. Someone would come to the class with the materials for Swish. Later, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, there was somebody in the class that was appointed to go to the office.
And you thought you were better than everybody else if you got to go to the office.
If you were appointed to go get Swish.
What? Go get the Swish. What?
You were it.
And you got the pass. You were it.
So Swish was literally, what it tasted like was really super watered down mouthwash.
Right. So like the most generic hospital mouthwash at that.
With a bunch of water in it.
With a bunch of water.
Like scope, like 1/4 of a cup of scope, and then like
all the rest water.
All the rest was water.
But then it had like this strange. I've never tasted anything else like Swish ever again in my life.
And we won't.
And we will never. And so to walk the people through the process, you would get, if you were really a VIP and the teacher's pet, you went to the office and you got the bottle, the nozzle, the tablets for the Swish, and the paper cups on a red lunchroom tray. And you brought it back to the classroom. They dropped the tablets in the little jug. You put the water and you mixed it.
See, our Swish was already mixed when we got there. We didn't have the tablets. They had already had it mixed up. So all you had to do was come grab it. So
yeah, and then don't be okay. So then we had it where you could actually be on the team that mixed the Swish for the different classrooms.
Not the Swish team.
The Swish team. You understand? You were better than everybody at your school if you was on the Swish team, because that meant that you were well behaved and your grades were on point because you were able to miss class so that you could go and mix the Swish.
Go mix Swish.
And
wouldn't it be crazy if like you had like you remember how like in yearbooks they would have like the different organizations and stuff, like
the Swish
like
team.
If you had the Swish team, you had a picture with the Swish team.
The captain of the Swish team. Oh, Captain Swish.
I'm Captain Swish.
You were able to pump the Swish, and you would make sure, like, because people didn't really like the Swish, even though it tasted like nothing.
It didn't taste like much of anything. But
it really did. And you would pump like 1 or 2, and then you would sit it in front of the people. And then, but our teacher would make us do it at the same time. Everybody drink, like communion.
Yeah, we did too. Yeah, exactly. We did too.
And the grossest thing about Swish, after you swish it for, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute.
Well, wait before we get to the end of it. But before we get into that, there were a couple of things there. There were some people who didn't like the taste of Swish, and so they would come to class and give you this excuse about my mama don't want me to take Swish. My mama said she don't want me to take Swish.
My mama said don't do that because it ain't good for me.
Yeah, no, my mama don't want me to take Swish. And so then it got to the point that the teachers would say that you had to have a note from your parents to say that you couldn't take Swish because you had to take Swish. So there was that. Then 2, if there was somebody on the Swish team or the person who was pumping Swish that week that either wanted to mess with you or didn't particularly care for you like that, they would give you extra swish.
An extra pump.
Yeah, they would give you an extra pump of swish.
Or they would do this, hold that nozzle down long for the entire pump so you get all of it.
Yeah. So everybody's swish wasn't the same. So let's put that out there. All right. So then you swish for 30 seconds, and everybody had to do it together like communion. So your teacher would go, all right,
you didn't swallow it.
Everybody
swish it around in your mouth.
You swish around in your mouth, but do not swallow it, because the urban legend was, if you swallowed swish, you would die.
Poison you.
Or you would be unalive. Yeah. So you could not do not swallow. And
you would be poisoned. It poisoned
one time somebody swallowed in our class. Like, like sometimes you would have people who would try to make you laugh while you were doing swish.
Try to spit it out.
And one time somebody made somebody laugh and they swallowed it. And they grabbed their throat and they were like,
and almost that's my God.
And I swallowed it. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was hilarious. But your point too, once you finish swish.
Oh God. Mm-hmm. So, disclaimer, I am by trade a nurse, and we are supposed to give a stomach a lot, but I cannot. This is the reason why the mouth stuff for me is a no. We would swish for 30 seconds to a minute, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then there would be a moment where you would take, come on, stay down.
Stay down. Yeah.
Stay down, food. Stay down. Mm-hmm. My mouth is watering, not because I'm hungry, but because right there. You would spit this swish back into the cup from which it came.
Yes.
So you just put it in your mouth, swished it around, so all of the food, all of the food particles in your, in that cup. But there was a paper towel to save the day. Oh God,
that piece of napkin. It was like a trifold.
That piece of napkin.
And
it's a napkin that comes in plastic forks and knives.
Yeah, and you would get that. It was a little bit bigger than that, but you would get that, and you would spit it back in that cup, and then you would have to take that napkin and put that napkin into that cup. And what the napkin would do is it would absorb all of what was allegedly. Unless you got that extra pump from
allegedly.
The person that didn't like you, but you would put it on there.
I cannot.
Usually, it would absorb all of the contents in the cup. So then, when you threw it in the trash, it wasn't like there was liquid going in the trash.
Right. But somebody would always not do that. Anyway,
I feel like I want to get a shirt made that says, "My mama don't want me to take swish."
My mama said, "Don't take no swish."
So. That would be hilarious.
My mama said, "Don't take no swish."
Don't take swish, right?
My mama said, "I can't swish."
That I can't
swish.
So
yes, you remember monkey bars and the games that we played in elementary school. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I broke my arm in school at field day. Lord, kids don't even do field day anymore.
No,
but field day used to be a lot of fun. And jump ropes and monkey bars.
Yeah. I would, but I could never do the monkey bars because I was too heavy. I was a chubby kid. I wore Sears tough skins.
You didn't even dangle.
I could hang. And see, part of the field day activities was like an obstacle kind of run that we would do, and the monkey bars was part of the obstacle run. So I could get on that first bar on the monkey bars and hold it for a little bit, and they'd be like, okay, just get down and run the rest of the way.
Not just get down, not just drop.
Drop down and run the rest of the way.
Just drop down and go.
And
run like the wind.
Yeah, I could not do monkey bars, and I still can't do monkey bars to this day, to be honest with you. I mean, as much as I work out,
can do them these days.
I can't do it.
We can try, but tomorrow will be different for us all. We'll
exactly. The meat will have fallen off our bones.
Completely off the bone, like a good old rotisserie chicken. But that and the what is that thing called? Is that a parachute? You go up, like everybody get in a circle.
And you put that parachute under, and you run under that parachute.
Yeah. And then like everybody come underneath, and then like you go, and then and everybody be screaming like oh man. And then you like make it like you wave it in the wind, and then you like spin it real fast. Oh my God.
Yeah, those were fun too.
In the gym.
So those elementary days kind of take us to heading into our junior high and high school memories, where we were going through puberty and really literally smelling ourselves. And
before we get into that part, can I say one more thing about elementary school? In the third grade, the space shuttle exploded.
Oh yeah,
I remember watching the space shuttle.
We did too.
Yep, because the VCR came in on that on a little wheeling cart. You knew it was Friday. Yeah, on that cart. But we were watching it. I remember her saying, "Oh, we're gonna watch the space shuttle. Take off."
We had TVs in our classrooms.
Y'all were so rich.
We were right. I was like, we did. We had TV. We had the TV. We had like the hospital TV. The one that's on that little stand. Yeah. We had on those stands.
That was the better country.
Yeah. I grew up in the city. So
I did not. I grew up in the country. We had VCRs.
Right.
VCRs and big TVs on a rolling cart.
Yeah, the TV
and projectors.
I'm not sure if the TV had a VCR on it, but I think they did. But it was on that. Yeah, it was on that
bottom
that hang from the wall. So yeah, we had the TVs in the classroom. So, but yeah, I remember that too. I remember when it exploded too. Yeah, I do.
That was a traumatizing day to see, because we were like, oh look, it was, look at it, it's smoking. We didn't know. We were what, 7, 8?
Yeah.
Oh, it's smoking. Look at that. It's too
until the teacher started crying, and then it was
until that teacher went up there and popped that TV off. That's it for the day, kids. And couldn't hold her composure, and face turned red, and she got to cry. We was like, what happened? And it was like, what, they dead? Did they die?
Right.
Really? Like exploded? That's kind of. But we didn't know. I mean, we were 7, 8 years old. We didn't know.
We didn't. Yeah.
Didn't know that's what that meant, but that's exactly what happened. So we watched the space shuttle.
Yeah.
Explode.
I remember.
Wow.
That.
Yeah.
Junior high and high school.
AKA middle school.
AKA middle school for some people. Yeah, because junior high for us was 7 through 9, and high school was 10 through 12. So you had junior high and you had senior high. And so then later we switched over to the idea, the whole middle school thing, where it was 6 to 8, and then high school was 9 to 12. I still feel like there should be junior high and senior high.
There should be. Should be.
Yeah. I feel like ninth graders in high school they're too young.
Yeah. Where I'm from, they have a 9th grade academy.
Okay.
So they have like even a school that's just for 9th graders. So it's sort of like you're in the midst between your transition of being a kid to becoming a young adult, which is good for them mentally, because you're still little, like in your mind, you're still like in that middle school mindset, and it gets you ready for the high school transition. Yeah. So I think that's a really nifty idea. But yeah, we went straight on into high school.
Yeah, one of the things we did in junior high, and especially in that 9th grade year, that was like one of our kind of rites of passage. We had a course that we had to take called, God, I can't remember what the name of that course was. Maybe it could have even been 7th grade that we took this course, because I can remember taking a more advanced cooking class one of those years I was in junior high. But yeah, so it was home ec, but it was a trilogy or a trifecta of classes. So it was like you had this life skills class where they talked to you about a little bit. It was a little bit more like they talked about, like emotions and like, the things that your body was going through and changes and stuff like that. Yeah. So that was part of the semester. So like, let's say the semester was 15 weeks. You spent 5 weeks in that class. Then you spent 5 weeks in shop, like wood shop. And then you had 5 weeks in home ec.
Almost like a life skills type.
Yeah, it was like a whole thing.
This curriculum type thingamajig, like how to put a button on, how to iron your clothes.
So in home ec, we learned how to sew a button. We learned how to make Rice Krispie treats and lemonade. And that was like the thing that everybody cooked. And then
let's see it.
Yeah, that was it. That was all you learned. You learned how to wash dishes. You learned how to
bring that back. Let's
we
bring that
used
back.
to yeah, I still wash my dishes the same way that I was taught how to wash dishes in 7th or 9th grade. And then there was something else in I think we never learned how to sew, but we learned how to thread like the sewing machine. And then
a machine.
also, we had machines. And then we also learned how to
For those listeners who are not as rich as Terry, we learned to knit with a needle at the house with Mama.
No, we didn't know. But we would get these like coloring book pages, and you would have to trace
from
out
highlights.
From where?
Did you get
like the magazine highlights?
Mm-hmm.
I know what that is, but I think I got a few. I might have had a subscription. I don't remember it as much.
Somebody smelt something and saw that highlights magazine when I said that.
Yeah,
that was staple.
Wait, yeah, tell me that was it.
Yes.
Yeah, so we would have these little coloring pages that we had to take. The needle would be in the machine, and we would have to trace the outline of the coloring pages with the sewing machine. So it kind of taught us how to
you're a sewing pattern.
Yeah, like it taught us how to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So now can I do any of that shit now? No. But
probably not.
I remember doing that. But it was part of that whole thing. And then in shop, we learned how to what did we make? I feel like we made a footstool. Everybody made a footstool. That's what it was.
Yes.
So everybody had the same pattern. We cut out the with the help of the teacher, we had we learned how to use the jigsaw and cut out our
and
pattern.
Nobody cut off a finger.
Yeah, right. And he had a finger missing, and he was talking about how, you got to be careful with this. And then we would all, we learned wood glue and how to, put it together and all of that stuff. So that was one class that I remember in junior high. Wow. That kind of helped prepare me for to be an adult and like learning all of those different kind of skills. Like, it's like, okay, I know how to do this, and I know how to do that, and I know how to do this,
What about this? So the kids don't, this is not a requirement. These two things are not a requirement anymore because they don't need this class, but typing was a class that I took that, it's beneficial. The other class, let's see, I'm not going to skip ahead. That's the high school memory. I'll give you that one.
Well, high school and junior high is in the same thing, so you can talk about both of them.
And dissecting a cat. That's another memory that I have. That was in an anatomy class.
A cat?
Dissecting a cat. Okay. I'm going to come back to that one because that's going to get graphic. But the other thing, tool for life, since we were on that, writing in cursive.
Yeah, we learned that too. We learned that.
That wasn't a class, but that was. I don't even know. Was it elementary school where we learned how to write cursive?
I was in 3rd grade.
It
was. We learned how to do that.
Oh, because I don't remember not knowing how to write cursive.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember there were certain letters that were super difficult, but yeah, I remember practicing that. And Z.
Oh, Z. Yeah, Z was horrible.
Yeah.
Z, Q, and
that seemed like there was those that Z, only that two Z, that
really... Z took you out.
Yeah.
That Z would get you an F.
Z would be done. Yeah.
Talking about, well, why does this zebra look like it is 2 EBRA? Is it a 2 or a Z?
Yeah.
I would get in trouble for that Z every time. And the Q would tear me up.
But typing, I remember typing. We had to take typing in 7th grade.
Yes.
But by the time I got to high school, No, I'm sorry. We had to take typing in 9th grade, but by the time I got to high school, I took like advanced typing because I had already knew some stuff. And so advanced typing, there it is. Yeah. And so advanced typing was, you learned like you really just got a chance to practice on like longer text and stuff like that. And we would have typing competitions every Friday.
That's what I was gonna say, your speeds and all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
like words
I
per minute.
am pretty fast, and we would have typing competitions every week. And the teacher was a football coach, and he was like,
but he could type.
But he could type.
I type this football.
He could type this football.
I could type these football plays
out. Yeah, but type these plays out for the game on Friday. But yeah, so yeah, he could type though. And
this is typing without a computer. So this is for the listeners. This is not a computer. This is typewriter, word processing, correction tape level typing. Like you had to be
proficient
on your game to type back in the day.
we would have tests. We would have typing tests, and you could get so many things wrong on the typing test. And like when you had to take the typing test, he had to sit there and watch you take it because you couldn't look down at the keyboard.
You couldn't.
You had to pay attention to what was on the screen, or like we were typing on the computer at that point, but you had to look at what was on the screen, and then you had to print
and
it
whatever
out.
the paper was that you were looking at to type, you had to look at the paper.
You had to look at that paper and not. So
Oh,
that helped a lot too, because now that I'm teaching, like if I'm doing presentations, my students are doing presentations, I can sit there and watch them do the presentation and still type my notes from that and not have to worry about looking down and missing something. So
and that's why when we had back in the day when we had the Crackberry phones.
Oh, is that what you call them?
Yes, the Crackberries. When we had also known as a BlackBerry phone, we didn't have to look at the phone. We could text with one finger. Because the keyboard for a BlackBerry phone was exactly the same.
Was that QWERTY keyboard?
Yep. Good old school lesson.
I know. I remember too, in high school, I lived close enough to my high school that I could walk to school in the mornings. Yeah. So well,
I did not.
So I lived close enough that I could walk. It's about a 15-minute walk.
I'm glad I'm able to give the listening audience a country perspective, because for those of us who lived, way far from the school, like you could eat breakfast on the way to school and be fine and still have time to drink a cup of coffee. We did not live as close as you.
My junior high was far. So that was a long way. That was probably about 25 minutes to my junior high. No, 25 to get to junior high. Now, my high school was around the corner. My elementary school was around the corner. I conceivably could walk to elementary school, but I didn't. I always caught the bus, but it was no time.
I didn't, because my butler was off.
I didn't, because the butler would come and pick me up from the school and take me to my tennis lessons at the country club. So, but I remember coming home from school, from high school, and I would be so hungry every day. And because most of the time in high school, we would have that early lunch. So that early lunch was like at 11 o'clock, 10:45, 11 o'clock. So,
and you go the rest of the time I eat lunch to this day.
Yeah, too early, too damn early. That's still breakfast. That's brunch. And so I would, there was a thing that came out in the 90s called Micro Magic. And it was a brand of
TV dinner.
Kind of, sort of. It was like they had, there were fries, there was like a hamburger or a cheeseburger, there was like a chicken sandwich, and there was a milkshake. There was like a few different products that Micro Magic had. And so you would go to, so you buy them from the store and you put them in the freezer. And like when you come home, you just kind of throw them in the microwave and warm them up and everything would be good. So my mom used to buy these Micro Magic things for me at the crib. And I remember, as long as I had a Micro Magic something in the fridge or in the freezer, I was good to go. And the fries were so good. They were like crinkle cut fries in this box, and you would open them up and they would be frozen. You put them in the microwave for like 2 minutes, and then you take them out, and then you throw salt and pepper on them and that ketchup. Awesome. But one of the things that they used to have, delicious. They had a milkshake, and I would get the chocolate milkshake. The chocolate milkshake was really good. So it would be in the freezer. You take it out of the freezer, you put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then you take it out and it would still be cold, and you could drink it like a regular milkshake. So good. I remember those vividly.
I tell you what I am thinking about right now is a Jell-O pudding pop.
Okay.
A Jell-O pudding pop. Just as you were talking about that, putting something in the freezer. Jell-O pudding pop. Everything is food relative to me, obviously. I heard you as you were talking about this milkshake that was so delicious. Jell-O pudding pops, and Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
This is a separate entity. I don't know what his, that
Who he
whatever.
is now.
That's his,
about,
listen.
we talking about we talking about old Bill. Yeah, we talking about old Bill.
The picture pages version, Bill Cosby, Cliff Huxtable version.
Huxtable. Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable. And the Jello pudding pops, both the regular chocolate ones and the chocolate coated ones were delicious. So if you remember those, Lord have mercy. Yeah. My mama didn't buy those. My granddaddy did that, and Sara Lee pound cakes.
Yeah, well, you and pound cake.
Yes, me and pound cake.
Get some pound cake tomorrow.
Yes, me and pound cake been in love a long time.
we've been in this thing for a minute.
We've been going together a long time. Going together.
We're going steady.
A long time. We check yes and no back on them days.
There you go.
Yes and no. Yes. Oh my God.
And then the only other thing I remember from like junior high school really were the fashions. So for me, the big three in fashions, of course, sneakers were Jordans. Everybody was still wearing Jordans. In Charlotte, where I'm from, people would leave, would come to school late or skip classes to go get the Jordans and all that. But the big three kind of clothing things that I remember from that time were Duckhead, Cross Colors, and Carl Kanai.
Listen to me about the Duckhead. Oh my God.
That was it.
You took me back.
I did.
I had a pair of orange Duckhead shorts and a pair of green ones. Oh my God.
I had a Duckhead shirt that was royal blue, red, purple, and some other color. All like it was like stripes, like all these stripes. And and I wore that with a pair of royal blue cross color jeans.
And then you had a pair of, what were those shoes? Oh my God, they were brown.
Sebagos.
Either those or they had a little compass on the side. I remember they had that little green tag. Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. Eastlands. Yeah, that was it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, because Sebagos and Eastlands kind of were they had the same, they were all deck shoes, but they were, just.
Yes. Come on here. Mm-hmm. Come on, deck shoes.
Yep,
deck shoes and duck. Oh my goodness.
That's right. I remember that. And as you all can hear, like listening to the fact that we were wearing orange shorts and royal blue pants and all that. Yeah, definitely. And that stuff wasn't cheap. It was not cheap.
Oh no.
That was what the crazy thing was. That stuff was not cheap. That and like Tommy Hilfiger was like big in junior high area until everybody found out he was racist. And then, but those shirts used to be $40 and $50, and people were buying them. People were buying them like some people's that was all their wardrobe. But I remember all that. The 90s were super colorful. We were wearing all kind of stuff.
They were unisex.
Yeah.
So there were like Converse. Like I tell the kids all the time about wearing clothes. Like back in the day, we didn't wear, like girls didn't wear like revealing clothes. And I mean, the most revealing we got was like, of course, biking shorts.
Biking shorts, yeah.
Biking shorts, and didn't have no bike, but biking shorts and the little shirt that went with it.
Yeah.
But like this was the era where, like, if you look at Martin, like those are the clothes trends that we had. Like with the shirt, they kind of they have them now buttoned down in the crotch, but like a shirt that kind of stayed in your jeans, but the jeans were like oversized, or like you would wear your clothes backwards, like crisscross.
I remember when that happened. And the thing about it though was your clothes had to be super big in order for you to pull it off.
Yes, for you to turn them backwards, yes. And as a tomboy, I always wore like boys' clothes. And I liked because to me they fit like the people on TV. And I tell the kids, we were not dressing, we didn't have like the internet to look at, or we didn't have like how they have so much access to things now. We watched the music videos to know what to wear. Like the hats, the necklace with the map of Africa, the floppy hat like Queen Latifah.
Yeah,
I'm taking it back.
Because I used to have all of those.
Man,
those peace symbols. Yeah, I had 2 or 3 of those.
Yep, the peace signs, all the things. But it wasn't like,
and the Grinch. That's we used to call them Grinches. That's the hat you're talking about. That
yes,
used to be floppy, and it had the ties on the end.
Yep. Or you got the girls would have the ones with the flower and flip it up in the top like Sinclair's on Living Single.
Well, that was a different type of hat.
The how she wore it flipped in the front, so you could do the floppy hat like that too.
Okay. Yeah.
So they eventually
the Grinches I used to have were like they look like a
the Grinches like Queen Latifah and hip hop Grinches.
Yes. Yeah. I had a black and white like horizontal stripe one.
Nice.
And and it was nice. Rich. And so it was
you was rich.
So yeah, and it had the ties on the side. Yeah, I wish I could find one of those because I would bring that back.
Listen, and so do you think that you have any of your clothes? Like,
no.
So I know for sure because my mom. So in all the nostalgia that we're talking about, I promise you, I could go to my mother's house right this minute today and get most of the stuff that we're talking about.
I wish. All the stuff that we had, all the stuff that I had, my mom and dad, when they sold the house that I lived in during my junior and high school years, they got rid of all that stuff. And I hated it because I had comic books up there that I'm sure would be
Ninja Turtles.
I had Ninja Turtles,
Smurfs, and you had the toys.
No, I didn't. I did not have any Smurfs.
You didn't have the what were the raisins called?
Oh, I had those. I had the California raisins. Yeah, I did have them. But yeah, I had those. I had all those from Hardee's.
You had all the glasses from Hardee's.
Yeah, I had all. Yeah, I had all them glasses from Hardee's. Yeah, all of that. So yeah, so I wish I would, because I could actually probably wear that stuff. I could still wear that stuff now because the size that I am now is the size that I was in high school.
And listen, at 47, the size that I was then is the size that I am now. Same height and everything, like everything. I wore size 9 then. I wear one now. It's just, my LA Gear are still there. The yellow Reebok are still there.
Yeah, I want to find.
My Jordache jeans are still there. The gasoline jeans still there.
I remember those.
Wait a minute, my Stonewash jacket.
Stonewash and acid wash. Yep.
Acid wash still there. All the things.
All of those.
Yes. Yep. Oh my God, the duck head shorts and the Dockers.
So let's bring it forward. This is probably where we're probably going to really cross a lot of some of the same memories. Is our college memories.
I have smelled every one of those.
We've talked about, a little bit of our college memories, but let's just give maybe 2 or 3 of our best college memories.
Oh God.
So what you got?
Getting it from the Ram Shack, the CC
and the FF.
And the FF. For those of you who need translation, it is a chicken and cheese
with cheese
sandwich with French fries. So the C is chicken, cheese is the other C, and the FF is for French fries. And they would put put them into a white bag and write CC and FF on the outside. Now, it only took me and you to come up with the fact that that's what that bag said. I've never heard anybody else call it CC and FF ever.
Yeah. Well,
have you heard anybody else reference it to that?
Yeah, I did. And I remember we were probably the only 2 people who joked about it. Maybe me and my roommate joked about it too. But I remember vividly joking with you about it. And so the Ram Shack, we were talking about the Ram Shack at our college. That was kind of, for those of you that may have watched A Different World or you went to college yourself, like if you had a special place on campus that wasn't like a franchise restaurant, like right now a lot of the schools have like Chick-fil-A and they have Subway and they have all of these like franchise places on campus for students to eat at. But at the time we had a place where people would actually cook. You had a cook there. They had a relatively limited menu. You would have burgers, fries, chicken sandwiches, hot dogs, like you'd have things like that. You may have pizza and chips and other little things like that. So you could kind of go and get that. So it kind of reminded me, our Ram Shack kind of reminded me of like the Pit on different world.
Mr.
Yeah.
Gaines.
So like, Mr. Gaines, somebody was in the back cooking and you would go and order your food and pay for it. And then, you would go and pick it up and eat it, like that. So that's where that was. So yeah, the everybody would go to the Ram Shack. And
And
you would see people,
and
you would see people coming out of the Ram Shack, and everybody would have a white bag, and on everybody's bag would be the letters CC and FF, and you knew that was what it was.
That Ram Shack. That's right.
Because we went to an HBCU, so chicken was going to be on that campus.
Oh, heavy rotation.
Heavy rotation on that campus. So
yes. And I remember being it was the end of a semester or something, and we were about to go home. And we may have had $2. I don't know. We may, whatever it was, it had to be scraped together. How about that?
Yeah, we put some money together.
We put some money together, and it was, I mean, now we would look at each other and go, that's a shame. But then we were like, ooh, I got $1, you got $1.
So let me set the stage here. This was at the end of the semester. It was this little weird period where we had to be on campus because we were participating in graduation activities, but everybody else had gone home. And so we were just kind of there, and we were like cleaning up our rooms, packing up our stuff because we had to leave later than everybody else. I was in the band, or I was a marshal or something that year. I can't remember what it was, and I forgot what you were doing. There was some reason, that you would, both of us had to leave.
I had to stay. I think that was the summer I was gonna do one of the summer camps or either summer school. It was something. Okay. Yeah. Oh, God.
So we were packing up our rooms and stuff, and we had made plans for dinner. We were like, okay, we're going to go to dinner at this time, and we got money to go to dinner, but I'm hungry right now. And so
the struggle,
right. And the cafeteria had closed something. So we couldn't get any food from there. All right. So McDonald's used to have specials, and it was 2 for $2.
2 for $2.
2 for $2.
Literally, no $2.22, no $2.25, straight $2.
$2. So you get 2 sandwiches for $2. And
$2. 2 fries, $2.
Yeah. So what they would do is they would rotate every week what those 2 sandwiches were. So you might get the double cheeseburger, 2 for $2. You might get a chicken sandwich 2 for $2. But the week that we were there, it was 2 fillet of fish for $2. So we were starving. We were like, okay, I got $1 and some change. You got $1 and some change. All right, let's get the 2 for $2 from McDonald's, and then we should have enough money to get a fry, like a small fry. And we split that.
Fry. 2 adults, 2 young adults splitting one
small
fry. Yeah. One small. I'm talking about the small that comes in the paper fry.
Yeah. So
not the fries in a carton, but the small fry in the paper.
In the paper. Yes. So we got that, and we got back to the room. And when I say we unhinged our jaws and sucked every piece of that fish sandwich and those fries down.
Wait a minute. And we had the audacity to get 2 cups of water. Remember?
And 2 cups of water. We got 2 cups of water. That's
right.
We
got 2 cups of water. I want to tell you, when those sandwiches were gone, though, you ever looked out into the distance in a way that said, I sure wish I could go back in time.
That's what it was.
Both of us thought it. But one of us said, I wish I could throw that sandwich back up.
And eat it again.
Eat that sandwich again. Because we were either A, so hungry, or B, the sandwich was just that good. I really think we were just that hungry.
We were that hungry. And possibly the sandwich was that good.
Possibly it was good.
Quite possibly. I remember.
I have not had one that good since then.
No. And I don't think we're going to get that. I think that too.
No, because
I remember you eating those.
That
right. Yeah. I remember you eating those fries. And literally, I don't even remember you chewing. Right. It was like pop a fry, pop a fry, pop a fry, pop a fry. And I was like, okay, are you not chewing these? Are you
not
swallowing
don't
these
have
whole?
Time. Just swallow them.
Swallow them up.
Oh my God. Yes. So, and then there was the time that it snowed.
Yes.
And we were at the Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever been of course, I'm sure everybody has been in the store and it's, icy outside or what have you, and everybody's getting their things. Well, an inexperienced driver, and I had, my mother's car, so I had to be extra careful pulling into a parking space. And I had certain people in the car with me, and pulled into the parking space. Yep, pulled into a parking space, and someone said, "You are pulling in this parking space as if your car is gonna fall on this ice."
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she turned in really slow
Really
and
slow.
started going whoop, whoop, whoops, whoops,
Yep.
whoops, whoops. And I was like, we're in a car. We're not gonna slip on this ice.
Gonna fall. Yes.
Let's just pull in and let's
Oh,
go
the
in.
memories. Yes. And then I get in the store and I break the coffee from the top shelf in the store. The Starbucks coffee, by the way, in the glass container.
Trying to get some coffee and she's talking about, I got to get my coffee. I got to get my coffee.
And that's when that was new. That Starbucks coffee in the glass, that was a new item.
It was. And she walked around the other aisle and was talking about she had to get her coffee. And all of a sudden I hear crash. And I walk to the other aisle and she's walking away with her head down.
In such shame.
And trying to walk away really fast. And I was like,
God.
see, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like all of this mess. I remember the Gold Coast Classic.
Oh.
Football game.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned, we were both in band. And one year our school entered into a what do you call this? A classic game with another HBCU that we normally don't play. And we were to play this game in California, San Diego, California. And the thing was that they were trying to increase HBCU visibility and presence on the West Coast because there aren't any HBCUs on the West Coast. So we went over there to play this football game. And we went 2 years. Actually, we went back to back. But this was a game where, you had to fly to California. And the majority of us, or a good number of us, had never flown before on a plane. And it was such an interesting experience. I was the first year I went, they split us up into 3 teams. So one team went out first and we left like super early in the morning. And then there was a team 2 that left. And then there was a team 3 that left a little bit later in the day. So then what happened was those teams got reversed on the way back. So team 3 left first. Team 2 still left in the middle, but then team 1 was the last group to leave. And they gave us an itinerary. And on the itinerary, it said that our flight was leaving at 2:00 and that we needed to be at the airport, at this certain time. We get to the airport and they tell us, "Oh, your flight's already left." And we were like, "No, that can't be right because the itinerary says 2:00. So what had happened was the itinerary, whenever they copied the itinerary, the one on the at the 2:00 didn't transfer over. And so actually we were supposed to have left at 12 something versus 2 something. Yeah. So that whole team, it took us another 12 to 14 hours. No, 24 hours. I'm sorry. Yeah, 24 hours for us to get back home. Yeah, we didn't get back home. Everybody else was home that Sunday. We didn't get back until Monday evening. Yeah.
Monday night, right?
Monday night. Yeah.
Well, what is going on Monday week?
Monday week. Yeah, we got back.
Monday week.
Yeah, so it was crazy, but we had a good time. That was my first time ever being on the West Coast.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Occasion lover. And so
and y'all got a chance to meet some Cajun lovers over there.
Yeah. And twice. Same person twice, actually.
Twice.
Because the second time we went, that is when I was Miss the school name. And that was different and interesting all at one time. Because we rented a car the next time that I went.
Okay.
And we were out and about in the city, which wasn't all that, but yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we thought it was because we were college students, but
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Cajun lover again. But yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, yes, because the mission was to shake the shimmies to leave one. Yeah, so the Cajun lover could get one. Anywho, that's
right, and that's another episode.
Yes, that's another episode. As I look off into the distance, bring it in. Okay, yeah.
So again, thank you for doing this podcast with me. We hope that we did not bore you all too much with our memories.
I hope you guys were able to come down memory lane with us, at least the swish with us.
Just a little bit, swish, or the fashions around that time. Yeah, something. Yeah.
Something.
So yeah, again, we hope that you enjoyed this, and we'll be back to give you some more commentary and some more discussions on some things. Anjeleigh, thank you again for doing this episode with me.
You are so welcome anytime. I enjoy it.
And we will catch you all next time.
All right.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Now be sure to like, share, and follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and Spotify at Just Draws. That's JUSTDRAWZ. Until next time,